Tangerines! What are we up to today?
We're getting up way too early.
4 a.m. No.
We need to stop booking these early flights. But we are going to Canada.
We're going to... wait, Canada.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, gracias.
Buen viaje.
Gracias.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Always showed it was not. Is your passport and boarding passes, please? Your carry-on has been with you the whole time.
Sí.
Did you buy anything in the airport today besides food and beverage? No. Did somebody else give you anything to take home? Then that will be all.
Gracias. Wait, so... Yes, sir.
To use pull-up to remove the bottom cushion. When you exit the aircraft, hold the cushion to your chest with the straps facing away. Bring your arms to the straps and hold your wrist.
So our first of 3 flights was absolutely awesome. We had 2 windows in our row where we could look out at the Caribbean and see the hotel zone in Cancun from the best vantage point possible. And this was only a 2.5 hour long flight to Atlanta.
I messed up when booking this flight, and I booked a 9-hour layover in Atlanta.
And that wasn't even the first mistake. The first mistake was us having to wake up at 4 a.m. But continue.
So, thankfully we have a credit card that gives us paid access to lounges at a reduced cost, or at least the Delta lounges. So we paid $29 a person to come in here, which is well worth it for a long layover.
Yeah, there's snacks, food, drinks, coffee, tea, bathrooms, Wi-Fi, fastest Wi-Fi ever. Ever.
Another cool thing is, besides these awesome views out here of the airport, there are something like 7 Delta Sky Club lounges in this airport, and you have access to all of them. And although this particular one doesn't have shower facilities, there are 2 that do, so we can clean up.
2 that do, you're like singing it.
2 that do. And I didn't get to shower this morning, so I might go take advantage of that.
So I have to be kind of quiet here because, as a total surprise to us, there is a live wedding happening right now at this lounge. According to, I believe, the regional manager of some kind or another, this is the first one to ever happen at a Delta lounge. And the story that we heard is that Cody and Sarah met at an airport. To our surprise, the time in the lounge, 9 hours went by in a flash, but then we got a notification from the Delta app, and it was not great news.
On our initial flight plan, we only had 35 minutes in the Minneapolis airport to catch our next flight to Winnipeg. We got a notification saying our flight from Atlanta to Minneapolis had to be rerouted around a storm, which caused a big delay. So instead of having a 35-minute layover, we are now down to just a few minutes.
We luckily got the exit row, which put us right by the door. Jordan loves the exit row because it has lots more leg room. I personally hate it because instead of having a TV, the seat in front of you, you have one that pulls out of the armrest, which makes the chairs smaller. You can't have it out during takeoff and landing, and you get an absolute joke of a window. This thing was like 3 inches wide, and the camera can see out of it, but you can't because it's almost like a reverse magnifying glass. So that wasn't great, but thankfully we got to Minneapolis. We were the first ones off the plane pretty much, and we ran to our next gate. Yep. Are we going to make it?
We're this way.
7 straight?
Yeah. We probably started boarding about a half hour ago. Thankfully, we don't have very far to get to our next gate.
Need your passports, please.
Okay.
And Mr. Passenger.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please have a good flight.
Thanks.
Right here?
Yeah. Plan A and B. So this is almost like first class, except for the service.
What Jordan
Because we have
means...
so much language.
I'm sorry, but what you mean to say is we made it on the flight and we did not have to spend the night in the airport. I'm so happy.
Oh, speaking of that, I need to call my mom to let her know we're going to be there.
Please take a moment to find the exit closest to you.
After arriving in Winnipeg, we were exhausted. It had been a super long day of travel. We got up early in the morning, and now it's like 1 a.m. at this point. So although I haven't seen my mom in over 2 years, we pretty much went straight to bed before being woken up by the bright sun of sunny Manitoba. We flew into Winnipeg last night and we're driving down to the US today, and before we left Canada, we have to do the most Canadian thing we could possibly do. And we are going to Timmy's, as they call it here, Tim Hortons. Have you ever had it before?
No, and I still won't be because there's not much that's gluten-free in
You're
there
gonna have
except
coffee.
Yeah, so coffee, I'm gonna have that. Jolly Rancher slushie.
Alright, so I grabbed a latte, a donut, and a bagel because apparently I'm going to be very unhealthy today.
It sounded like you were ordering for the group.
I was like, nope, that's just for me.
And then you got a latte, I was like, oh, thank you, but that's actually for you too. What do you think?
I mean, it's very good. It's probably the most, not something I want to eat every day. Well, it's something I want to eat every day, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
After Tim Hortons, with our donuts and coffee in hand, we took the drive a few hours south to where I grew up in Minnesota.
Our time in Minnesota started out by taking a drive to Lake Lida.
Since I hadn't seen my friends and family for over 2 years, we wanted to spend the time hanging out with them rather than filming all the time, but we still want to show you the highlights of the trip.
We got the chance to go out on some kayaks. Jordan, what are these things called?
I think it's called a Hobie Cat.
Hobie Cat.
Yeah.
I've literally never seen or heard of these things before in my life.
Cool, you can cruise on them.
Yeah, you can go really fast with not that much effort. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na. Da-da-da. So for an animal named floating object, I think this is 10 times better than the sea snake in Mexico City.
So we got the most ostentatious boat. Maddie thinks that being in the swan boat is embarrassing, but I honestly think the most embarrassing part about it is that we paid extra for it. This boat is like the noisiest one out here.
So janky. We paid extra for this loud ass boat that we can't see out of the front of, and people are laughing at us. Well, here we are. One day during this trip was actually 4th of July, so that night we went out on the lake and we could see people lighting off fireworks everywhere across the entire lake. It was insane how many people were putting off fireworks, considering there was no real official show that we were watching. It was just all of these cabins, all of these people doing it on their own. And thanks to Jordan's sister, we got a little bit crazy with a bunch of sparklers.
They're going really good. What are we doing?
Take a photo.
Taking a photo.
Holy smoke. You're not gonna waste it. That was the worst idea ever.
Somehow those did not fend off all the mosquitoes though. There's some intense mosquitoes in Minnesota.
Yeah, normally they aren't too bad because there's so many dragonflies or bats around that are eating them, but that night the mosquitoes were terrible. A couple days later we made the short drive over to another lake where my uncle lives, and there was a whole bunch of my family there, so we were lucky enough to take a boat ride there. It was interesting though, although it was really nice out, there was a weird haze that is very unusual for Minnesota. Apparently this was actually from wildfires that are raging somewhere up in Canada. And then we got to the other side of the lake where we parked the boat, and well, let me just show you what happened. Yeah, I'm alive. So yeah, I tried walking out there and I totally ate it. That was nuts. Thankfully, I don't think I hurt myself. It was just so slippery that I got soaked and oh my gosh.
While we were out on the lake, for the first time in my life, I saw a real bald eagle. Someone had set up a large pole where they could build their nest on top of it, which was just incredible. Our country's bird, and I'd never seen it before.
They don't call it the land of 10,000 lakes for nothing. After going to Pelican, we then took another drive to Little Toad Lake, where my friend from high school had just bought a cabin. So we went there and caught up a little bit, had a drink. After about 5 nights at the lake, before we went back to Winnipeg to catch our flight, we decided to go play some golf. This was my first time golfing in a long time, so my game needed some serious work.
Oh no.
I did make one birdie though, and I drove the green on a par 4, so that was cool. After our round of golf, we made the drive back up to Winnipeg and spent one more night at my mom's place before heading to the airport. Today we're saying goodbye to Winnipeg and heading to Las Vegas with a quick stopover. Actually not so quick, 3 hours in Minneapolis. It is good to be back here. It's been a while, at least 2 months. Ah, the hot desert air. It feels so good out here. I was freezing the whole time on the plane and in the airport.
It's actually pretty weird going from the Riviera Maya, where hardly anything is air conditioned, to where everything is air conditioned, and rightfully so, because it's pretty darn hot. Tomorrow I'm pretty sure the forecast is 107 degrees Fahrenheit, so fun, fun, fun.
Tangerine travels.
Okay. Jordan, you straight tripping.
Fact.
So we didn't know where to go. We got dropped off in kind of an alleyway, and it says, in case you're confused, everything this way. So by the time we got checked into the link, it was super late, something like 1 a.m. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to see our upcoming Las Vegas video where we tell you how to put all of those tricks, how you can do Vegas cheap, into action. So that's how to get a free hotel room, lots of comps, free drinks, free entry into pool parties, and things like that. So like I said, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you do not miss that. And one more thing. Gong that bell so you will be notified when we put that video out.
And we'll see you there.